A DEA officer has to stop at a big ranch in Texas. He gets to the ranch, there's an old rancher there, and he tells the rancher, he says, I need to check your ranch for illegally grown drugs. And the rancher says, that's okay, officer. Just make sure you don't go over in that field over there. The DA officer says, hold up. Who do you think you're talking to, mister? I have the authority of the federal government. And then the DA officer, he reaches in his pocket, pulls out his badge, and puts it into the rancher's face. He said, do you see this badge? Do you see this badge? This badge gives me the authority to go wherever I want, whenever I want, on whosever land that I want. The rancher said, okay, sorry, sir. And he went on back to his chores. A couple of minutes go by, and the rancher hears somebody screaming for his dear life. Ah! He looks up and he sees the DA officer is being chased by the rancher's big, huge bull. He is running so fast, and every single step it seems like that bull is gaining on him, right? So the rancher said, oh my God. So he runs out there, he runs to the field, he said, your badge, show him your badge. The first character trait of a fanatically relentless leader is to demonstrate humility. Everybody say, demonstrate humility. Now, usually when you hear people talk about leadership, the word humble or humility typically doesn't come up, does it? You know, what are the words that you're going to hear? You're going to hear confident. You're going to hear they're assertive, right? You're going to hear that they're very ambitious. Usually humble doesn't come up in the conversation at all. And if it does, it typically isn't used in a complimentary way, right? But I believe having humility is a character trait that every single leader should have, they should value, and they should develop. Because being a humble leader, it doesn't mean that you devalue your own strengths. All it means is that you acknowledge the fact that you have areas where you need to grow. I think a humble leader is secure enough to understand that they have weaknesses. We all have weaknesses. I think a humble leader understands that they have to have a capacity for self-evaluation. They're always seeking out other people's input, and they're always looking for other people's talents. I truly believe being a humble leader is very, very important, particularly in this environment today. Another thing that a humble leader understands is that they revel in the accomplishment and potential of others, right? See, a humble leader, they're not worried about somebody else stealing their shine, because a humble leader, they empower, they enable, and they allow other people to shine. They have no problem taking that spotlight off of them and putting it on other people's victories, because you know victories. To be a fanatically relentless leader, you understand that there's enough success to go around for everybody. I think the management guru, Ken Blanchard, he said it best. He said, people with humility don't think less of themselves. They just think about themselves less. Everybody say, demonstrate humility. We're going to move on to the second characteristic of a fanatically relentless leader. And that is that you have to have the ability to engage. Everybody say, ability to engage. I think everybody understands that employees are the backbones of our organizations. But still, knowing that, a lot of organizations today still are plagued by employee disengagement. According to the 2013 America's Workforce Place report, they found that 70% of workers out there are either non-engaged or actively disengaged. 70%, that means that these workers are out there, they're emotionally disconnected from the places that they work for, and they're most likely going to be unproductive. 70%. So looking out here statistically, that means 7 out of every 10 of you, nah. They're not talking about us, right? They're talking about somebody else, right? But truly though, think about this statistically. This is a crazy statistic. They said that disengaged employees cost the American economy up to $550 billion a year in lost productivity. I said billion. That is huge. That is huge. $550 billion. And why? Because most likely a disengaged employee, what are they going to do? They still most likely steal from their organizations. They're definitely going to negatively impact other employees, right? Most likely they're going to not show up for work. And last but certainly not least, what do? They're going to chase off your customers, because that's what a disengaged employee does. They're going to chase them away. So let me ask you a question. Who's responsible for employee engagement anyway? Raise your hand for me if you have at least one person reporting to you. Ding, 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 ding. Guess what? If your hand was up, you're responsible for employee engagement. But think about it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a simple solution. Your boss has a lot to do with how engaged or how much you love your work. Right? That is so true. Right? If your boss, if you're really a fan of your boss, most likely you're going to be, it's difficult for an employee to be engaged if they're not a fan of their boss. Raise your hand if you're a fan of your boss. If your boss is here with you, might be a good career move to put your hand up right now. Right? But if you're a fan, because see, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. If your boss cares about the work that you do, right, shows that they appreciate your contributions to the team, make sure that you have the development tools and everything, the training you need to be successful and do your job with excellence, and they show and care concern for everything that you do, most likely you're going to be a more engaged employee. Am I right? That is so true. So here it is. Here's the deal. But you know what most organizations do? Who do they farm out employee engagement responsibility to? HR! That's not their role. There's part of it, but if you have people reporting to you, employee engagement is your responsibility. So to be a fanatically relentless leader, ladies and gentlemen, you have to connect with your team, and you got to make sure that they're in the game. I believe the world is full of great coaches. All of you in this room, you're all great coaches. But you know what? If you want to win in the competitive environment that we're in today, you need a team of dedicated and engaged employees. That's the only way you're going to win. Does that make sense? All right, everybody say ability to engage. Now we're going to talk about the last characteristic of a fanatically relentless leader. One of my favorites. You got to have passion. You've got to have passion. If you want your team to be fully engaged in what they do every day, you've got to be fully engaged with them. Because it's going to be you who makes the difference. It's in your daily behavior, right? It's your energy that creates energy in others. I believe people mirror and they emulate what they see. And they need to see you in this light because you set the tone and you set the pace of your work environment. So here's the deal, man. I want you to exude passion when you come into work. Man, I want you to be so passionate when you come in, people smell it all on you. Like, oh, Mary, you smell passionate today. You got to be passionate about what you're doing, man. You got to make the people around you believe in what you're trying to accomplish. You got to walk the talk, and you got to transfer the vision, and you got to transfer the vision in a way that fires your people up and sends them off in the right direction. So what I'm asking you to do today, ladies and gentlemen, to be a fanatically relentless leader, you got to be real, and you got to be transparent. Because let me tell you something. Your people know when you're being sincere. And they know when you're just talking turkey. One day there was a turkey and a bull sitting under a tree. Turkey turns to the bull. He says, you know what? I would love to be able to fly to the top of that tree, but I simply don't have the strength to do it. Bull says, well, if you nibble on some of my droppings, it's packed full of nutrients, and it'll give you the energy to fly. Don't know where that voice came from for the bull, but I like it. Turkey turns to the bull and says, man, you must be absolutely out of your mind. But you know what? I've been wanting to get to the top of that tree. So he nibbles on some of the bull's droppings and he makes it to the first branch of the tree. Turkey's like, wow, Mr. Bull was right. So the next day he nibbles on some more droppings and he makes it to the third branch of the tree. Now this goes on for about a week, and before you know it, the turkey is he's flying like an eagle, man. He gets to the top of the tree. He's perched up there, man. He's looking good, bringing sexy back feathers, looking good. And then all of a sudden, pow! A farmer spotted the turkey from his porch and shot the turkey dead out of the tree. The moral of the story, kids, is this. BS might get you to the top, but it will not keep you there. Here's the deal. Be sincere, be transparent, and keep it real. Okay? So here we go. Before I get off this stage, I got to give you a test. I need the 3 traits of a fanatically relentless leader. First trait. Great job. Second trait. Third one. You guys are fanatically relentless leaders. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank
Loved
you.
it. All right.